Trust. Dependency. Love. Respect. Passion. Pain. Intimacy. Pleasure. I sit here stuck inside my head, remembering you and I analyze all those things you said. You told me you love me, you kissed and you hugged me, then you smiled, you look in my eyes and tell me that you'll always be right there.
Good evening, people. Did y'all miss us? Did y'all miss y'all favorite aunties? Tell me y'all did. I know y'all did. Y'all ain't even gotta tell me. I know y'all missed y'all favorite aunties. We is back.
Yes, indeed.
And I'm
I
in
know
one of
I
my
missed
favorite
them.
places. I'm in one of my
Mm,
favorite places. Y'all know I be in the car on Fridays
yeah,
sometime.
yeah.
Hey, aunties.
Hey, girl.
This gonna be a good conversation. Okay.
Indeed,
I am so
indeed.
excited. I am so super excited. If y'all don't know, I'm gonna tell y'all now. First of all, y'all gotta excuse my seatbelt, like, cause it's gonna keep going off. Cause I'm not finna put my seatbelt on, cause my stomach full. Okay.
Oh no.
First and foremost, I ain't good tonight. Okay, we ain't real good.
That's what's up.
Um, but I do want to tell y'all that we finna have some real conversation tonight, and I hope y'all are prepared for this real type of conversation we having tonight. It is Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's about to go down. Y'all know we always pick a topic and we go in on that topic. So this month, for Mental Health Awareness Month, we talking about grief, sexuality, and mental resilience. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Let me see. That's the right one. Nope, it's
Wonderful.
this. It's this one. So we talking
Okay.
about intertwined journeys because it does it these the paths that we are talking about tonight, you have to intertwine them. Like sometimes
Yeah.
people forget that you can grieve and still want to get your rocks off. I think
Yeah.
sometimes when we grieving or sad, sometimes we want to get our rocks off even the more.
Even the more.
But
Even the
we
more.
having this conversation and we gonna dive into it. And then on the 24th, we're gonna have not one, but possibly two of my favorite therapists and mental health counselors on the show. We started talking about grief on the Fat Girl Chronicles. Y'all know the
Right.
Tuesday show. So we started talking about grief this Tuesday. And then we kicked off Mental Health Awareness Month a little early. So we started on April 30th
Yeah.
talking about mental health. So y'all know, like, that's one of my favorite conversations to have, favorite things to dive
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
because it opens up so much and so many conversations that we really need to be having. And a lot of times we aren't having those conversations in the spaces that we need to be having them. So here we
Mm-hmm.
are, your
Here
favorite
we are.
aunties is having
Yeah.
them conversations.
Yeah.
And as y'all might be like, okay, who's the other auntie up here in the corner? That's Auntie Joy. That's our new auntie.
Hey,
That's one
Hey,
of our
Auntie
new
y'all.
Joy.
aunties.
I'm
So
excited to meet you.
I'm gonna let her introduce herself to y'all, tell y'all all the amazing, wonderful things that she does. And she is so super dope because y'all know I don't fuck with no lame people. And I'm gonna let her tell y'all all of the dope things that she does, and then we gonna get into this conversation. Oh, and by the way, we sorry we late. I was out here, trying to mix and mingle and do adult things, and sometimes those things go over. So we a little late, but we still finna have the dopest conversation y'all didn't know y'all needed.
Absolutely.
Come on.
But go ahead, Auntie Joy.
Hey, y'all. I'm Auntie Joy. I hate talking about myself. So, I am a midwife here in Indianapolis area.
Nice.
Community midwife. So I work at home in the home. That's where I catch the babies. I'm a mom. I have 5 little people.
Mm-hmm.
What else? So, the parts and the pieces that make the babies, I kind of specialize in the area. More of course, the woman parts. I'm trying to be
Mm-hmm.
politically correct. How do I
Girl,
No,
this the
you are
wrong show for
politically
that.
correct
the
in the
womb
after
owners?
part.
I want to be inclusive. Um, so that's my main focus. But of course, deal with it all. Talk about sex and sexuality a lot in my practice. What else? I am the vice president of Indiana Black Breastfeeding Coalition. So I volunteer and work with them, teaching families about breastfeeding. And I probably do a lot of other stuff, y'all, but that's what I got. Y'all can follow me at thriving_with_Joy Renee, just to get a whiff of some of the creative things that I do, things that I share, writings. I've got more stuff coming, but yeah, that's me. I'm happy to.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Auntie Leo invited me, so I'm
And
excited
I
to be a part of
did.
the
That's
team.
right. That's right. Welcome to the aunties.
Thank you.
Right. I got to fix my name because this show don't say auntie.
No,
I
don't
got to
say it
fix
does.
my name. Hold
Don't. And
on.
mine
There
won't
we
let me.
go.
Mine won't let me have my little white thing underneath it.
Under.
I don't know. I don't know what
Lord.
happened. Maybe
Lord.
I'm on punishment. StreamYard don't like me.
It said no. Not
I'm on
tonight.
punishment. I can only have the pink banner, the pink one.
That's
Oh
all right. We
Lord.
still see
It's
you in
okay. We gonna figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
We's gonna work
That
it
part.
out.
That part.
Mama gonna work it out. Mama gonna work it out.
Hey.
So, so, as we are talking about um grief, okay? We about to get into this conversation about grief first and foremost. There
Oh,
we go,
she
Auntie
fixed it.
Chef. I fixed it for you. I got you right, Bookie.
There you go.
So, when it comes to talking about grief, so first and foremost, like we had to dive. Well, Tuesday we took a deep dive into what grief really is. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
grief. Whew, a lot of us don't realize what grief is. Okay, grief is a deep thing. Okay, some people be like, oh well, you just grieving, and they try to brush it off like it is not something that affects your whole life, your whole being, and everything that you are. Okay,
Right.
so um I'm gonna put up the definition here in a second, but one of the things that I did learn about grief is that I did not know you could get grief headaches.
Mm-hmm.
I just learned that.
right.
Yeah.
I did not know you can get grief headaches. I did know that you can like experience all the things like depression and all of those kind of things. And we're going to even talk about the difference between grief and depression because there
Mm-hmm.
is a difference, but sometimes they look the same. And oftentimes you have both. You are grieving and depressed.
Yeah.
And do you know what kind of hell that is for somebody to live? Listen, and I'm calling it a hell because I lived it at the same time. Lord
Yeah.
have mercy.
Yeah.
Thank you for the coming out. Okay, thank you for
Yeah.
the joy that came in the morning. Cause Lord,
Indeed. Indeed.
whew.
Indeed. Indeed. Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about what is grief, and here we go. What is grief? Grief is an emotional loss. Most commonly, grief is connected to death and dying, but it is also related to any loss that we experience in life, work, money, relationships, play, hobbies, safety, physical capacity, or
Mm-hmm.
anything else we can lose. The
Yeah.
body and the mind react in a variety of ways to loss. And generally, the more important or significant the loss, the more complications there could be.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah. I feel all of that.
Right.
And the crazy part of it is that until until Tuesday shows, I didn't realize that as well. Like, I know Auntie
Mm.
Leo and I, we talked for a while, and I was like, I just can't get this stick out of the mud. Like, I can't get it forward. And I know there was a couple things that was going on with me. I was feeling like so fatigued and just out of it. Like, don't even ask me to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich right now, because I would mess that up and cry over it, right? That's how bad I was.
Aw.
And so so I mean, but when you put it up there like that, and put it in perspective, that grief is not just a loss of a loved one, or over death, but it could be, like you said, a loss of a relationship, a loss of a friendship, a loss of money, or a house, or something,
Or
some
yourself.
or
Woo!
yourself.
Okay,
Yes,
now you just
honey,
gonna jump right in. All right.
jump
Yeah,
right in.
honey.
Okay, you
Oh,
went.
baby, we get down, okay? We get
Yes,
down when we have conversations.
I
We
thought we
gonna
was
get
never
all the
gonna
way up
be
in that
ready.
thing.
30 minutes in, you went.
no, right now,
It was like, come
right now.
on, man, we're not playing in the kiddie pool. We
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Not none.
Never.
Whew.
Cause that's a
Yeah,
real thing.
it
Wow.
And we're gonna
is.
talk about that. We're gonna talk about that on Tuesday's show. We're gonna talk about grieving your former self.
Mm,
Let me tell you, grieving your former self is something for real, for real.
baby.
And until you bring it to the forefront, you're not realizing that that's what's going on with you.
Mm,
Hmm.
So yeah, grieving your former self is something really real.
mm,
Man.
Yeah.
But I do know, like, when I lost, okay, so my most, I'm gonna say my most significant loss in my whole life has been losing my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that not to say like my losing my dad wasn't significant. My losing my dad was significant, but I was still a teenager when I
mm,
lost my dad. So I really fully didn't understand. I was 13.
Mm.
But when I say my mom's loss was very significant, it was because I really, really, really saw myself
you breaking up, Leah.
honestly
Yeah, I
saw
think
me losing. Uh oh. Uh
yeah,
oh. Can
you're
y'all hear
in
me?
and out, but we can hear you now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Y'all know I'm driving, so thank y'all for letting me know. But
Mm-hmm.
the real significant loss was my mom because I was 30 years old.
Yeah.
I was 30 going on 31.
Yeah.
And I had never, not ever in my life seen my mom sick the way she was before she passed and all of
Mm,
that kind of stuff. And so it was like a whole lot. And I lost
Mm-hmm.
myself after that because I didn't know who I was
Yeah.
without her.
Right.
I'm like, who am I? Like, I don't have no daddy no more. Like, I knew who I was even after my father passed because I still had my mama and I could attach myself to my mama and be like, this is
Yeah.
who I am, this is who I belong to, all those kind of things. But after
mm,
losing my mama, I was like, I don't know who I am. What do you mean my
Mm-hmm.
mama not here no more? So
Yeah.
um that was my most significant loss. What about y'all?
Well, you said such a key word, which is the word attach.
Hmm.
And to experience that detachment, that's something
Whew.
huge, and that's something major, right? It's like,
And it wasn't
it's
something you
almost like
planned.
tearing.
You
right.
didn't
Yeah.
prepare
Wasn't
for
your
it. Oh my
choice.
God.
Mm,
Right, right. It's like tearing Velcro apart, right? It's
mhm,
like, it's hard, it's noisy, it's painful. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm,
um, for me, just recently, it's been my uncle. Um,
mm,
he's my first uncle. So, and I had three. And I grieved them all very differently. But the loss of my uncle was something, tremendous, because he was like the patriarch of the family to us,
mhm,
So, and it's this year would make 2 years, but it
2 years. I
feels like
remember.
yesterday.
Yeah.
It feels like yesterday, and it hits me in waves, and It hits me at times when I'm feeling extra stress, or something like that. And I think I was able to find a funny moment, within this week. Something happened, and I said, "Oh, he would have said this," and then I bust out laughing to myself.
Yeah.
Um, because at that particular moment I felt kind of his presence. And then when I went onto my Facebook page, up pops a Facebook memory of him. So I was like, okay, well, I guess
Oh,
that's just one of the ways, that I get to take my memories and turn it into, something that's going to make me smile. But it's going to take a long time, for your memories to turn around and, make you smile, because I miss his presence so much. The detachment is something that I'm not taking very well, and I didn't expect it to hit like like it does. It really impacts me quite a bit. But yeah, that's for
Okay,
one.
Michelle, I'm gonna ask you like my doctor asked me.
Mhm.
My brother passed away, my mother's oldest son, in January this year.
Mhm.
Sudden, super traumatic for all of us. Well, I should
Wow.
say for all of us. It was very traumatic for me. Um,
Mhm.
and I had a doctor's appointment towards the end of January, and I was just telling him, I'm like, I am not okay. Um, and he's like, "Are you supposed to be okay?" So when you
period.
said, it was hard, that detachment was hard for you to, and it's like, is it? I forget what your language was that you just used, but is it supposed to be easy? I think that that's part of what makes grief so difficult in our society,
Yes.
is that we don't make space for it.
Come
Mhm.
on. Come on
I
now.
just recently learned that, like, I've never really had space to grieve.
Mhm.
To grieve. Yep.
Um, so my hardest loss, I would say, I mean, my brother hit me really hard
Yeah.
here, but
Yeah, I can see
I
that.
think lifelong was my father. So Leo, like you were talking about, that attachment, being able to identify, right? So your dad
Mm-hmm.
passed, and you can identify with your mom, and like,
Mhm.
these are my people. These are the people I come from, right?
Yes.
My dad passed when I was 11, and my daddy was like, whew, he was my favorite person. He was my person. Like, that's
Mhm.
why I identified very much with my father.
Right.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so when he passed away, I was 11. I felt like, what do I do from here? And,
Right.
and I very much felt that throughout my life. Um, so yeah, I didn't, even being that age. I remember one night being really upset and crying and just missing my dad. I was young, maybe 12 at this point, and especially in our community as Black folks, we don't grieve well.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I think, the funeral thing, we might do well, in the sense that, like, that is our space to cry, to have that communal grieving moment. But then after that, it's like back to business as usual. And
Yeah.
some of that is our history in this country. Being enslaved, we couldn't grieve well, right? It's like, somebody died, you had to keep working. You know,
Yeah.
the cotton got to be picked, the sugar cane got to be chopped.
Yeah.
The things we got to keep going. Uh,
Yeah.
and so then that's kind of been passed down. And so I remember my mother telling me when I was having that moment, and she was like, "Well, he's dead. Get over it."
Mhm.
Now, okay, me and my mother have had conversations about this, and so we've worked through it. But what that has told me, we lost her. What
Mhm. That's
that
okay.
told me as an adult is that she also didn't learn how to grieve well.
Right. Exactly.
So she wasn't able to hold that space for me. So that is very much something that I've had to figure out for myself.
Mhm.
And I'm still figuring out for myself to make it okay to be in a space of grief.
Right.
Let it and sit with those feelings, right?
Yeah.
Um, so we're not supposed to be our normal selves when we are grieving, whatever it is, whether that's a death, whether it's loss of job, income, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we actually compound our issues. So when we get that duality of grief and depression,
Yes.
I think sometimes that comes because I just lost somebody. When my brother passed away, I didn't stop. I couldn't
That's
stop working. It wasn't um, the nature of my job and what we had going on. The other midwife I worked with got sick the same day my brother died.
mm,
And so nobody had crazy, but I was still very much on high alert with somebody.
right,
I couldn't just be. I mean, I was devastated, and I couldn't be in that space. And so
right.
when we're not able to sit with our feelings and work through them, work them through our bodies and our nervous systems, and we're stuck.
That's right. That's right. And that's something real important to recognize because just like you said, um, when the death happens, right? For me, anytime somebody passes in my family, I look around at people around me. Like I can go to the grocery store and everybody's like doing their thing, right? And for me, it kind of makes me angry. Like, how dare everybody walk around and have a normal life, and my whole life is in shambles? Like,
Listen,
how
you
dare
hear me?
Yes. And so I had to go to work, and I told them I was like, listen, I just experienced a loss in my family. My uncle passed away. He's a patriarch of the family. And, they give you the obligatory, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
But then in the next breath, we have
But
these,
make sure you bring your motherfucking ass to work.
we have
um,
these deliverables that's on the table
did you
that
see
needs
my
to be done
email?
by Friday, right?
Right. Mhm.
So it's like, okay, we understand your sadness, but we still expect you to do X, Y, Z, and
Yeah,
ABC,
yeah,
right? And so when you said, do you make space for it? You kind of don't have a whole lot of room. Like there's a teeny tiny corner in the page of your life that you could give that to, but then everybody else is still expecting you to be on
yeah.
and popping and all this other stuff. So yeah, no, no, I
And
didn't.
that's so much our culture in America. Um,
Mhm.
I want to say an Italian culture, like for a woman, if she's widowed, she wears black, right?
Mhm.
And everybody just knows she's grieving,
Right.
and they are careful with her,
Mhm.
and they're not expecting her to show up the same ways that she would normally show up. We
Yeah.
just don't and I know that other cultures. That's the one that came to my mind, and I don't know
Yeah.
about grief in all the other cultures, but I know
Mhm.
other cultures make space
Mhm.
for
Yep, they
grief.
absolutely do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And what you said was real important because you said other people treat her,
Hmm.
with care,
Yeah.
right? Compassion.
Hmm.
Even if she can't show up as her regular self, they can understand, hey, she's grieving, right? But here's the other thing that kind of bugs me out just slightly. It's like, how do you really cope? You know what I'm saying? Because how does that spill over into your relationships? Or how does that spill over into, this is the after dark show. So how does that spill over into our sexuality? Like some people
Yeah.
want to be super sexual
Hmm.
because that's the only thing that's going to ease the pain,
And
Right.
that was
right?
me. That
Um,
was me. That was my
that was
story.
you?
That was me.
That ain't me at all. I'm like, please
I
don't touch
I
me.
That's me
wanted
too. I mean, all
I wanted
touch.
it all the
Really?
time,
Oh yes, Lord. Hmm.
and it wasn't that I didn't care who it was from. It was like, boy, come through here, help me get my rocks off and go on about your business. I
Yes,
don't want to love you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to have conversation with you. I want to do what I want to do, and then I want you to go on.
Hmm.
really.
What the old people say, go on, get.
Go
That's
on
what
and
I
get.
wanted you to do. I
Go
wanted
on
you to go
now.
on and get.
Hmm.
Don't come over here talking about humping on me, or you want to cuddle after. No, sir.
Oh my
I
God.
want you to go on and get. You came and did what you needed to do for however long it took us to do it. Okay, now go on. Leave me alone. And then I'll call
Mm-mm.
you if and when I decide I want to see you again in order to do the same thing so you can go on and get again.
Oh no. See, I wish I could do that. I cannot.
But you know
I
what?
can't take it
I
to that
can't do the
level.
want and get because I want all the touch. I want the presence. I want the sex,
Well,
cuddles. I want the
I
conversation.
didn't
I
I
just
at that
need you to
time,
be near
at that
me.
time, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't give a damn about nothing. I
Yeah.
didn't give a damn about none of that. I don't even want you to cuddle me because I don't even know if I feel like being touched
Mm,
other
Mm-hmm.
than for you to put your mouth on my lady parts and put your man parts inside my lady parts
there you
and then go on about your business. Don't ask
Yeah.
me to put my mouth on your man parts
go. She said,
because
"I'm
the answer is
not
no.
reciprocal."
So one sided.
It was. I was very selfish. Like
Mhm.
very, very selfish. And I knew this.
Do you know?
And
Have
I
you been?
didn't care.
Have you been able to like now that you had some distance from it as you reflect on it? Do you know why maybe you were just like I don't want any of the other, like I don't want the intimacy. I just want
Oh, I absolutely know why. Because on the other side of it, it was just, I just needed something to feel. I needed to feel something
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
other than sadness, other than grief, other than anger, other than disappointment, something other than what I had been feeling. And I
Mhm.
did not want to exude emotions, or I didn't want to have to care
Yeah.
because everything that I cared about no longer existed from
Mhm.
what from at that point in time is from what I thought. Everything I cared about no longer existed. So I don't even want to care about you. And I don't want you to care about me. I
Mhm.
just want you to care about what we came here to do, sir. And then
Mm-hmm.
that's it. That's all. And then you can go on. And
Yeah.
looking back at it, I did experiment a lot during that time. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's when I used to just be like, okay, I want to try this. So you're gonna be the person that I try this with. And
Mhm.
you can't tell me no. Cause what is no?
Right.
Mm-mm. Don't
Mm-hmm.
tell me no. Like this what we doing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Really harsh, really like
You breaking up again, boo. Can you hear us?
they thought something was sexy about me being in that space. And I'm like, y'all really don't know that I'm grieving.
Right.
Y'all
Right.
Right,
really don't
because
know. Like I'm really over here fucked up, but I'm
Ain't
just
that something else?
but
Like
dude was being dominant though.
something inside of them that could attach to
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think they felt it was sexy because you were being dominant. You were saying, "This is what I want. This is what I need." Um, and you were kind of like the top person. You was like, "No, this is hey, do this, do this, do that, and do that." And to some people, that's quite sexy.
And you know,
Um,
some women we don't really do that.
no, not really. No.
Typically,
Yeah.
we're more submissive,
Right.
and we
Exactly.
kind of so yeah, I can see them being like, yeah, girl.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. And I was on the other side of that. I was when my previous significant other was grieving, they said the same thing that Leo said, like I just need to feel
Yeah.
something. But the way that I received it, like now that I'm a little bit more mature, I can understand what that statement meant. But when it hit me at the time that it hit me, you just need to feel like what the heck, what are you talking about? Am I just a rubber doll? What you talking about? Like,
Mm,
like so I was like, get off of me, please don't touch me. Like, no.
mm,
And I've now I understand that could have been kind of wrong to deny that, because if that was that person's coping mechanism at that time, I probably should have let that happen. But the way that they was like, well, can we just do that? Because I just need to feel, you
You
know.
know, I don't think you should on yourself. I
Mm,
think that um if that didn't sit right with you,
it didn't.
even though we have our ways that we need to cope, when we're involving somebody else in that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they still have a choice whether they want to participate or not, whether
Indeed.
or not their position in your life. Like,
Yeah.
it didn't feel good to you. No.
I was getting ready to like, be submissive in that moment, but it got messed up with what they said,
Yeah.
and I said something. I was like, you really want to do something after, we just expect, because like the death, um, it wasn't sudden, but we was kind of hopeful that the person was going to turn and it was making a positive turn. And
Yeah.
then next thing we knew, we got a call,
Yeah. Yeah.
and like still within that night, it was like they wanted to be romantic. And I was like, you want to do something right now? Like, we just got this horrible bad news, and like, how can you turn this on?
Yeah.
And they said, well, I just want to feel.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no.
Yeah.
Please don't touch me.
I mean, it also sounds like that you were grieving too, because if you were
Hmm.
this, so
Definitely, because it took me as a shock.
yeah.
Yeah, it took me as a shock to get the news, and I believe it was within that night that we got the news that it was like, roll over and then let's do something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
And you said you
whatever.
don't really want to be touched when you're
I
grieving,
don't.
right?
No.
You shut it all down. So y'all were having two very
Different
Yep.
experiences.
that's the thing. Like, in relationship, my a previous relationship, we were very different in that stress,
Mhm.
and I'm like, please touch me, oh, please, please, please,
Mhm.
please touch me. I need all the touch. Like, it
Yes.
moves my nervous system. Help me.
Yes.
I need
Yes.
help with this co-regulation, right?
Right.
And there were things that I would do, have my own coping mechanisms that didn't involve anybody else. But I'm also like, especially in relationship with somebody I love, like, I want you close to me. I want that comfort.
Mm.
They were very much like, absolutely not.
Mhm.
I need my space. Leave me alone. Like,
Yeah.
go through the motions will very much show up, in all the ways. Gonna work, gonna
Yeah.
cook, gonna clean, gonna tend to the children.
Yeah.
But like, that's it.
Yeah.
Right. And that was the way of like, I love y'all, but like,
Right.
this is what I need for myself. Um,
Right.
that was a hard. Ooh, you talking about having to sit through your feelings? I was
Mhm.
like, oh my,
Mhm.
just. Ooh.
And I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
was the difference for me, why I was the way that I was, because I wasn't in relationship with anybody. I
Mhm.
think if I had been in relationship at that time, I would have wanted all the affection, all the love, all the hugs, all the kisses, all of the everything. But because I wasn't, and I wasn't even like dating anybody at the time, like this was literally,
Yeah.
mm, I moved to Indianapolis in September of 2014. My mom passed in June of 2015.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And then not only did my mom pass, it was my mom, my cousin. Then I lost my job. Then October rolled around, I lost my uncle.
Mhm.
Then I lost somebody. I can't remember who the other person was. And then January of 2016, I lost my best friend
Mm. So
and
yeah,
we have
that
been
was
best friends since like junior year of high school.
right.
So it was just like one thing after another. And then it was like, I don't care about what.
Mhm.
Tell me what I'm supposed to
Mhm.
care about.
Right.
So I
Yeah,
think that
that
was
was that
why
was
I was
super
in such a
impactful.
space of like, I don't want none of that intimacy shit. Like, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
want people to get close because I also felt like the people that got close to me or the people that I truly loved, I was losing them ever so rapidly. So,
Yeah.
no, don't get
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get close. I just need you to do this thing that you were made to do,
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Mhm. Do
Amazing.
this thing that you were
that
made
you
to
was
do.
made for. That's what it's
Woo!
made for. Like,
You be man and I be woman.
Mm. Mm.
you Tarzan, me Jane. Like,
Exactly that part.
Yeah, we got to break it all the way down today.
let's just get to the basics, bruh.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's real though, because it's scary. That's a frightening place to be. You
Mm-hmm.
know, how can I attach myself
Yeah,
Mhm.
to someone else when I've lost all of these people that are so dear?
yeah. That's right.
It
That's
was
right.
What
scary.
if you leave me too? What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And I
Yes.
already got like, and that's the other part too. Like when I'm in therapy, and you know what I'm saying, I'm realizing like I have attachment issues. Like I don't like losing friendships. I don't like
Mm-hmm.
letting people go. I don't like none of those things, and it's just
Right.
because even when I was younger, I lost a lot of family members, uncles, cousins, all of those kind of things, and so it was something. Grief and loss is something that I've dealt with for almost all 40 years of my life. And then to lose my mama, I was like, I never thought this day would come.
Right.
Like this is the
Right.
day that I could not have imagined. Or like, kind of work your way to getting, and that sound bad, but you work your way to kind of getting over all of the other loss. Like
Mm-hmm.
your mother is a loss that is consistent. Like,
Absolutely.
and for me,
That's so real.
for
Woo.
me as a woman,
Mm.
it's like, and I'm gonna be like fully, completely transparent. And I think I talked about this on Tuesday, but like I just started working back in childcare,
Mm-hmm.
and one day, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you kind of went away for a second, but we
Ah,
hear you. We hear you. Oh, she gone again. Oh
Mm.
man, she stopped at the the one day,
No,
but
no. Okay, wait.
I
my
kind of know
alarm
where
went
she. Oh, there
off,
you go. There
and
you
it
go.
threw everything off. So
Mm.
I just started working back in childcare, and so I'm working in the baby room, and I'm just holding this cute little chunky thing. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh my God, this baby is so chunky. And I was like, my mama used to love chunky babies because my mama used to think, oh, you being fed well. Let me feed you some
Exactly.
more. Like
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
her
yeah.
thing. She loved chunky babies. My mama loved people. But
Mm-hmm.
then sitting there and like my brain and the grief intrusive thoughts was like, so hey, what if you had a kid when your mama was alive? Like, what would that have been like? Or what would it be like if you have a kid now? What you gonna do without your mama? And all of the thoughts just started thoughting. And I
Mm.
was like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can imagine.
I want to get out of my head. I want to jump out of my body.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I had a moment at work and I could not escape the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I could not escape the thoughts. I couldn't leave the babies. I couldn't do none of that because I
Yeah.
was giving somebody a break. So I had to
Yeah.
sit there in it until I could leave. And then the rest of it just kept, the rest of the day, it just kept spiraling.
Yeah.
But that's also why I didn't finish the book that I started writing years ago, was because the character in the book got engaged. And I'm writing the book. I'm the person writing the book.
Yeah.
And I wrote that this girl got engaged, and the first person she called was her mama.
Right.
And I lost my shit because I said I'll never be able to do that. And I stopped writing after that.
Yeah,
I
that's
can imagine. I can imagine, right? Because that's something like you said, when you think about the reality of it, that's something that you'll never get to do, right? And so yeah, I wouldn't pick the pen up to write anything else either. At least not right now, not not at this particular moment, but at some point I would probably try to imagine real hard what that would have been like
mm-hmm.
and manifest it in that book. But
I was gonna say,
it's like
yeah.
it's
Well,
that's
art heals, right?
yeah, it does, right?
Yeah.
It does. Art does heal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like really the only thing that's ever gotten me through any of my grieving moments have been music.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the only thing that has gotten me through it, has been my coping mechanism. And of course, before um before I didn't have a positive relationship with food, I would definitely lean on food. Like I was an emotional eater.
Mhm.
Um so yeah, it's like you turn to those different vices.
Mhm.
Some people, like we talked about, turn to sex. Some people turn to food, some people turn to drugs, unfortunately, So you got to find that out, but then you still got to be present for your family and whatnot. Your family, your friends, you just can't detach all the way, you know.
Oh yeah. Mm. My brain is doing so much. Y'all just said a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
Leo, you started with calling grief intrusive thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So very familiar with intrusive thoughts. Okay.
Mhm.
I have them all the time. So, but grief intrusive thoughts. Man, 'cause I was just telling my ex-husband actually earlier today, it's Mother's Day weekend. He
Yep.
lost his mother. Um, and he was like, man, like, I didn't expect this to be so hard.
Hmm.
And I was like, grief is a funky bee. Okay.
Mm.
Cause she will come up in your brain so fast.
Yep.
And so I mean it's like a rushing mighty wind. You
Yeah.
having the bed, like you said, you was looking at that little cute baby,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, this little cute, she's so delicious,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden your whole day is wrecked.
Yeah, that part.
Baby, listen.
Intrusive. Ooh, oh my
And just like I like the way you said it though. It came in like a rushing wind. Like you can't stop that. Like it's gonna hit you.
You
God.
can't stop
You
the
don't see it coming.
rain. That's how they feel. You can't stop the rain.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
They really just come in and beat your ass real quick and be like, all right, I'm
Yeah.
through for the moment.
Well,
Yes.
yeah.
It's like no mas, no mas, no mas. Don't hit me no more. Good Lord.
You gotta wave the white flag sometimes and just let the shit happen.
Shit. White
And
flag, red flag, black flag.
all of them.
Then when you don't, so you talked about grief headaches.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens when we don't. Then we start to feel it. Our body
Ooh, baby.
will then begin to manifest that psychosomatic. I mean, you talking about chronic pain?
Mm-hmm.
Tell you, chronic pain
Yeah.
all day, every day.
Oh, but you know
I'm breathing
what?
right now. My whole when I tell y'all my body hurts because there's I, I can't do. I have to sit. I just got to sit still. There's not
Mm-hmm.
really anything I can do to change, and it's like situational kind of grief.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, I'm still, kind of reeling from my brother, but this
Yeah.
this particular grief is like situational, and it's like I can't do. I just got to sit here. I
Mm-hmm.
have faith, but I'm grieving so. There's so many layers that onion around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like every day, sometimes moment to moment, I'm meeting a new circumstance that's reminding me
Of
of
that grief.
the situation,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
right? And so I'm like, I can't get away from this. I can't walk away from my life. That's what I want to do.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Take me on sabbatical. I'm done. You hear me?
Yeah.
I want to just walk away from all of it. Like,
Yeah.
if I could take me and my kids to some island somewhere and we could just play for the rest of our lives.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just go play, children.
Right. But you know what you just said just helped me. How Oprah say, "Oh, that aha moment!" Like the light bulb just came on when you said something about it racking your body with pain, and how you do turn to sex because you have that. it's almost like that. What they call that? It's a oxytocin type of
Yeah,
feeling, like that
Yeah.
dopamine feeling in your brain.
that's real.
Where yeah.
That's real.
So I just made the connection just now because like before, what in the latter part of what we was talking about, I was like, please don't touch me,
Mm-hmm.
right? But if I would have connected, oh, you could have a couple of moments like 10, 20, 30 minutes where
Mm-hmm.
you get that dopamine feeling, I
Yeah,
could see why people will turn there
yeah,
right there. So
that's real. I had a partner, so I suffer with chronic migraines. Um,
same, me
I
too.
have one right now.
Mm.
But
And you're on the show?
yeah, so I'm a midwife. I said that right. So
Yeah.
I'm on call pretty much always, unless I'm on vacation or it's my weekend off. But also I've been a mother since I was 17.
Mm-hmm.
I was having migraines before that, but like I had to. It's like either you quit life or like you push through, and that's
Yeah.
my mother was very much like you push through, right?
Yeah.
There was no space for grief. And so that's what I learned from my mom, the women in my family, even my father. And so I
Yeah.
just put it on the women, up until he had cancer and I had a project due at school. And
Mm.
left chemo. He would leave, he would pick me up from school and go to his chemo treatments. He would take me home. I did my homework. He had extra homework for me. And he took me to Michael's after his chemo treatment.
Wow.
And he was so I could tell, and I was selfish. I was 11.
Yeah.
Could tell that he was struggling, and he ended up losing his bowels on our way home. He was
Mm-hmm.
so hard to hold it, and he was just devastated
Yeah.
by that. But he pushed through to get that done for me. So that's what I know. That's what I come from.
Mm-hmm.
And so pain, yeah, I just always had it, and you just go. But I had a partner, and that ended up, he brought that to my awareness of like, and I knew that I would say like, okay, like I need some relief.
Mm-hmm.
Help me out here. Um, and then that became issue in relationship. Like, yo, I am not a pain pill,
Yeah.
And so thankful that he was like, yep, come on, what are we doing here?
Right.
Mhm.
Bringing that to my awareness, but it's real. And it's a double edged sword of like, and that's why we need awareness because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that's okay. It could be healthy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But then there's a line, right? And it's like, okay, but what else? What else do you have? What other coping mechanisms can you have? Because sometimes
Right.
it's a bonding moment in relationship because we're meant to heal. We need people in
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
ways. That's why we have so many different kinds of relationship, right?
Yeah. Facts.
So yeah, that can be it could have been like, oh, okay, you know what, I love you. And there were moments like that where he's like, I want to help you feel better.
Yeah.
It hurts me seeing you hurt.
Right.
It was a beautiful moment.
Yes.
But then it got distorted. Oh, my brain is doing so much, y'all. This conversation is giving me life.
It's good though, right? Right.
Audre Lorde has an essay where she talks about the difference between erotic and pornographic.
Right. Ooh.
Mm.
Okay. And so in those moments where it was a mutual, like I'm hurting and he's like, oh, baby, I love you and I don't want to see you hurt. So let me help you relieve this pain.
Right.
That's eroticism,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
Both together in that
In the
intimate
moment.
sexual moment, right? For a purpose.
Right.
Pornographic is me like, yo, come on. Like
That's
I
what I was
Right.
on.
Get
I
it
was
like,
popping.
pornographic.
let's get it. I don't really care about how you feel. I just need some relief.
Get it popping.
Come on, you know,
I
man.
needed some who's is this? Who's is this? Who's is
Listen,
this? Who's is
Exactly.
this?
I need to help me feel better. I need to feel something different than this agony.
Yeah, but my friend just brought it up to me a few moments ago that That's like that scene in Monsters Ball
Mm-hmm.
where she
Make me
was
feel good.
exactly
Mm-hmm.
Because I really think that I know all of my vices were bad. Like after my mom passed, like if it wasn't sex, it was alcohol.
mhm.
And I was like, I am so grateful to God that He brought me on the other side of all of that. Because baby,
Mhm.
like I was drinking all the time, like all the time, and trying to work and trying to like so many things happened.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh God, I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
And honestly, just sitting up here having this conversation and thinking about it, it's like, God, I'm grateful for so many things. I'm
Yeah.
grateful that like I don't have liver or kidney failure. I'm grateful that I
Amen.
ain't got no like no deadly sexually transmitted diseases or none of that. Like we
Yes.
was using protection, but sometimes it would just be like, boy, I said what I said. Let's go. Like I ain't,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? And so I was reckless with
Right.
myself. I was reckless with myself. And then it was so crazy that the dudes allowed me to be so reckless with them. Like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
y'all allowed me to be this reckless with you. And when I say like reckless, it would be like, I don't care. Are you at work? I well, as soon as you get off, like come over here, cause and
Mhm.
then you can go do whatever you need to do after that. But like, I'm a priority after work.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And so sometimes I wish I could still have that kind of attitude, but not with the recklessness of it. You know
Right.
what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I'ma say with the certainty in who I am. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's the other thing about about healing though, is that as you heal, you don't desire all of the randomness and all
Mhm.
of that. Like,
Yeah.
and so I was even talking to my therapist and even my business coach and mentor about like sexuality and was like, I'm healing. And it'd be like, I want to be sexually free and do
Mhm.
all of the things, but it's also like, I don't want all of these people touching me.
Right.
I don't
Right.
want
That's
all of these
right.
people to access me. I don't want all of these things that make me feel like I'm being used.
Mhm.
And it was like, it's such a conflicting space to be in
Yeah.
because you're like, I mean, it's just sex. But then the other side, the heel side is like, bitch, but you know, it's just not. It's
Right.
Right.
not just sex. You
Right.
know that it's a whole bunch of other stuff than them
Baby.
parts touching.
Mhm.
So, and then I'd be like, okay, you said put it on the charger
It be them round table conversations
with
Mm.
yourself.
with
And you be
yourself.
like, you know what?
Exactly.
I'ma just go on and plug it up
Mhm.
and not put
Have
this
y'all
phone
Right.
down.
seen J Lo's movie, the music, that long meter music video she did on Amazon?
No.
It's the Zodiac, but it's her like council
Yeah.
of spells. It's
I haven't seen it. I mean, I know what you're talking about, but I didn't watch
yeah,
it.
it's a cool concept. But that's what it be like. Okay, like I gotta get myself together here. We'll be.
And even at one point, I was like, okay, well, what if I tried girls? And I was like,
Mhm.
and then the
Mm-mm.
other side of me was like, girl,
Well, see, the only reason why I don't, only reason why I'll never, only reason why I don't really want to do it, try girls, is because number one, it's not natural, but then secondly, I'm gonna be a pillow princess anyway. I'm not gonna do anything after you do something to me. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
that's
do
not
none of
fair.
that. I don't even,
That's not
don't even,
fair.
don't even be like, do me, because time out. No, I'm not doing it.
Michelle
So that
said,
just
don't
means
even
you're not
ask.
attracted to women. That's what that means.
Mm-mm.
So yeah.
No, no. So
And
that's
that's
why
the
I never
thing
thought about it.
too. That's the other thing to me. Like, I'm not attracted. Like, you know how you be like, I'm not attracted to all women. It just be certain ones that have certain like characteristics and traits.
Hmm.
And I find myself, but I don't even think it has anything to do with them being a woman. I think it's more of like a spirit kind of thing.
Yeah.
And people can say whatever the fuck they want to say. Like that's how I feel, or that's
Hmm.
But
my
like,
thought
it's
process when
also
it comes
like
to.
you could be. I mean, that's human nature. If you see, it's just the can just be the visual. Like you could be attracted to a woman and
Yeah.
very much not want to have sex with or be in a relationship
Yeah.
because
Yep. That
you
part.
know what I'm saying. That's not your orientation.
Right.
But
Or
I
women,
also will flirt openly with women, but then I don't want nothing after that. Like
mm,
I
Yeah.
just like the exchange. Like I
yeah.
like trying to talk shit and preparing my mind to be able to think outside of my normal. And I'll flirt all fucking day and all fucking night, and then still be like,
Flirting
okay,
is
cool. Let me
fun,
go
though,
call
just in
Craig.
general. Yeah, flirting
Let
can
me
be
go
fun
call.
no matter.
Let me go call Deshaun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no matter what. I was so funny. I was we were talking to our mutual friend last weekend, Leo and I, and she said something to me about being straight, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm so straight." She was like, "You are, you reek of it." Yeah,
That sounds like her.
yeah.
But it was so funny though, cause like I am the girl that will say stuff and you'll be like, cause I saw Joy and I was like, I'm mad I knew that was you from behind.
I know she did. I was like, "Girl, you know what, y'all? That has been such a thing this week. I feel like you set it off, Leo." So I found out my daughter, my oldest daughter, her little friend that comes over here, she spends night over here sometimes, and she said every time she come over here, she be like, "Your mama's butt is so big." Why is that happening? She showed me a video of my 8-year-old when she was like 3 or 4. She took this video of her, and she was like, my daughter was like changing her clothes, and she's like,
Yeah.
look, and she's like, "I'm gonna grow boobs because I gotta grow boobs.
Mhm.
I have a big butt just like mommy." No one But yeah, I feel like Leo it was a domino effect.
That's too funny. I mean, here's the thing. It's like some women are definitely born with big booties. I have a big booty.
Mhm.
It's all me, nothing altered at all. Um, and sometimes I don't like it because regardless of where I go, if I'm not careful with it, I'm knocking
Come on,
something
Auntie
over.
Belle. Talk about
I
our struggle.
am knocking something over.
Tell the people.
So, it is what it is, right? But and it's crazy because people look at you and go, "Oh, oh, you're so sexy." I'm not trying to be sexy, and sometimes I don't even know how to take those words. You're so sexy. It's like, is that all you see? Like I'm smart too.
I have to show you about to
Well,
make me
I would definitely say a lot of it is like
That's
visually. That's what they come across first. That's what they're gonna come across first. But
Hmm.
like nobody sees you're smart. We
no.
see that you got a big booty and you got a nice rack. Like that's what we
Yeah.
see.
Hmm.
And that's why I do not fault men all the time for being attracted to certain things that they see first.
Hmm.
But it'd be like, nigga, after she turned around and started having that conversation with you, you knew she was something different.
There you go.
So
That part.
that's when
Yeah.
it becomes your fault that you
Yeah.
Exactly.
continued.
Exactly.
But like even with all of that, like I said that to Joy, and I was just like, I say stuff, and I be like, damn, I hope I don't be offending people
Mhm.
because it be in love and it be jokingly or whatever. Because I
Yeah.
sure said it, and I'm like, I can't help the way my brain works. I literally
I
walked in
misread.
this open fucking space and she was doing something. I was like, oh, that's Joy. And I walked up and I said, I'm mad I knew this was you from behind. I saw the little girls at the table, but didn't like put two and two together that them were her little girls.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just was like, oh, that's Joy.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's too
And
funny.
I wasn't offended because um I it's a spirit thing. You know, and I didn't feel like there was anything on it, but like,
Yeah, like you didn't feel like I was being a creep.
right, like Auntie Shell was saying, when people look at me and only see that, like I know that you see me,
Yeah.
right? And so I don't. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
why I don't really compliments from guys that I'm not like that I don't care about, or they don't really. I'm not really moved. I'll say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Really don't move me, but like
Yeah.
somebody that love me, tell me I'm beautiful, baby. Listen,
Indeed. Indeed.
cuddle on
Indeed.
the floor.
Indeed. There
So
you go.
she said that to me. It was just like, yeah, that's my sis.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Well, let me ask you this question. Let me ask y'all this. Have you ever experienced survivor's remorse?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Mm.
The first time I was ever able to name that was after I had my youngest.
Mm,
I you know, no situation's perfect, but we like to do comparative suffering. It could be worse, right?
Mm-hmm.
mhm,
Or they got it better than I do. Um, had this baby, and I had been able blessed to have the birth experience that I wanted with the people in the room that I wanted. I had her at home and in this very bedroom. Like
yeah.
it was the birth experience I wanted. It was the most safe I ever felt giving birth. Um, and I was able to have. I had 8 weeks off, paid with my full salary.
Mhm.
Um, I also planned to have a postpartum doula. So she came to my house and she cooked for us and she cleaned and she did my laundry. She
Wow.
entertained my older kids. I had friends that were coming and she was my hardest baby. So I really did need all of this. Absolutely.
Mhm.
But I struggled to just be with my baby, even though that's what I wanted. I said, this time is my last time. I just want to be with my baby.
Mhm.
Don't worry about anything else. And um, I would I'd be like feeling so guilty because I'm like, there are so many women that don't have this,
Mhm.
right? My mother didn't get to have this kind of care.
Right.
I just felt guilt, and I'm not at work, and I know that I'm needed at work, but I'm
Yeah.
I'm collecting my full salary. It felt wrong,
Mm,
and yeah.
yeah.
That's
Mm.
exactly what I felt like it was, survivor's remorse.
Yeah. What about you, Auntie Leo?
Girl, I'm sitting up here thinking, I'm like, have I? And I don't think that's what I felt.
Mhm.
Um, I'm really trying to think if that's what it was. I don't think it was that. I feel like there was just guilt, just overall guilt.
Hmm.
Like I wish I could have done more. I should have done more. I should have been more attentive. I should have went and saw my mama more. I should have called her more. I should have did this more. But like
Mhm.
now and looking back on things, and even like a video popped up the other day on my memories um of like one of her Mother's Days, and we took her out to dinner and we gave her this box of tissue because she was crying, and we was like, you always crying. And
Yeah.
it was a tissue sticking out of, but as soon as she pulled it, it was money, like, and the money came out like tissue. And she was like, ah, I got to screaming and all this other kind of stuff. And so we were very intentional about making her feel loved and making her know like we appreciated the fuck out of her.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, like, I had an amazing fucking childhood. Like, I had an
Yeah.
amazing life. My mama was very intentional. And not to say that she didn't do no wrong and she didn't do no harm, because, parents gonna fuck up.
Yeah.
But even in all of that, like, my mom was very intentional about birthdays, Christmas, like
Mhm.
holidays in general, about loving on us and everybody in the neighborhood, making sure like we experience life. Like we might not have never went out of town that often or none of that kind of shit, but home was where the heart was, and that's
Mhm.
like the life we experienced was a great one. Like
Mhm.
even when the motherfucking like when we had like snowstorms and blizzards and shit,
Mhm.
like she even knew how to make that shit fun when the lights went out. Oh,
Yeah.
everybody go get some out the refrigerator and go put it in the snow. Let me get put this shit in the snow. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything was a fucking experience, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was like I just felt a lot of guilt because as I got older, like I was the only one who didn't go away to college because I was scared to leave my mama.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
didn't want to leave my mama. Um and I stayed with my mama the longest. Like after me and my ex broke up, I went back home. I'm gonna go back to my mama. I don't,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back home with my mama. And I
But
stayed with my mama. And then when she moved here, I was getting ready to move somewhere else, but I ended up staying here. And I
mhm.
was like, well, but I ended up having a bunch of guilt. And again, I feel like the guilt also on top of all of that was why, like, I just needed to feel. Like
Yeah.
that's why I was so like hypersexual in the midst of my grief.
Yeah.
And the one thing, like looking back on all of it, was like I think I would have actually done more had um I had the right people to do those things with. I probably would have been out here just wilding.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I feel like I would have just been out here wilding. So I'm like, I'm grateful that God was like, okay, girl, like,
When you say the
this,
right people, what do you
yeah,
mean?
because like when you're in your experimental phase and shit like that, I was like very experimental in that time frame as well, and I was just like, nah, it was shit. I just started like, nah, we ain't gonna do that.
I
We
see.
ain't gonna do that. So it was just like, I think if the right opportunities would have presented themselves, I probably would have been out here doing a whole lot more shit. And then
Mhm.
would have just tucked
Yeah.
it under the rug, swept
You
that
would
shit
have
under
been
the
like
rug,
pineapples. Somebody would have said
I
pineapples.
swept that shit under the rug, like, don't ever bring that shit up. Cause it's a
Mhm.
dude now, like he was one of the ones, and like he's my Snapchat friend or whatever, and like he'll see my story and he'll bring something up, and
Don't remind me.
Right.
I'll be like, nigga,
I'm a different person now.
thank
Exactly.
you. I
It,
I
do
have
that. Do
evolved.
that. Take the pen and do that Jedi mind thing across.
Yeah, like what? How dare you?
Exactly.
You no
Nigga, I
longer
need a Men
even
in Black
know me,
thing for
sir.
real.
You don't
Cause
even
what?
know me anymore.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
I'm a different
that
woman.
Leo was a different Leo than is now. Like,
Bruh, cause I'm
Exactly.
like, and
mm-mm.
he say the weirdest shit, and I be like, sir, go away. I be wanting to do one of these.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Right.
Like, sir, go away. Go away. And I hate when niggas want to spin the block after years later, like, oh no.
You what you remembering is not what this is.
Exactly. That part.
What
That
you
part.
remembering has evolved, sir, and I don't even want to do those new things
So
with
much,
that
right?
old penis.
Don't
No,
Yeah.
go.
no,
Because if
go
you
away.
spin in the block after
That part.
years, it's been years.
Yeah. That part. That part.
Might be where you still were, and that's what I'm good.
Go away.
Great. My survivor remorse story actually shaped the rest of my sex life for the
Mm.
rest of my from the moment it happened up until now.
Mhm.
My best friend cousin, we were the same age. This is in the 90s. So she was having some type of problem in her relationship, and she decided to go do a one night stand with someone she knew. Actually, her baby's godfather. Um, and back in the 90s, you call each other up. Girl, this is what I'm gonna do. Blah blah blah. This is about to go down. Da 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 da. I'm like, I don't think you should do that. She was like, mm-mm, nope, I know this person. I had a crush on this person. He's my son's godfather and I trust him. Okay. I couldn't stop her. There was no stopping her. She was going to do what she wanted to do. And she came back and told me, this is how it went down. And just, she felt satisfied that it all happened or whatever. Shortly after that, a couple of months after that, she started to get sick.
Mm.
Flu like symptoms, you know, something very similar to what we know as COVID today, right? Flu like symptoms, feeling really bad, whatever. But, we were both plus size girls before plus size became a thing. So we were like, no, we're going to get on our slim girl shit. We're going to, eat tuna fish and crackers and salad and walk.
Not the tuna and crackers, because then
Tuna fish and
everybody think
crackers.
tuna is the saving grace when you get
Boy,
ready to
I said
lose weight.
it used to be. That's
Well,
like,
we're going to
Tuna
have
and salmon, that's gonna save our fat asses.
go save us, yes. Yes, yes, yes. And she worked in the hospital, so she always walked. And so she was like, Shell, I'm starting to lose weight. Like this tuna fish and cracker stuff is working and whatever. She's like, I haven't really been having an appetite. I have been feeling kind of sick or whatever, but I think it's working. I'm
mm,
like, okay, bet. Me, I'm always a hustler. I'm always working somewhere far, right? So I had like a whole hour and 15-minute commute from DC to Virginia by metro.
Mhm.
And so I got really busy where I couldn't go and see her. And she didn't live very far from me. It's just that because I traveled at crazy times of the morning to get to Virginia at a certain time, and to get back, I got back home like 9 o'clock. So it was really retarded my hours. Um, and by that time I had my son and everything, and still had to pick him up from wherever he was and everything. Um, cut forward to my aunt, her mom, calling me and like, well, she's in the hospital. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah, well, she has pneumonia from, this flu or whatever. So I'm like, she was like, you got to get up there to see her. And I'm like, okay, Auntie, I'm going to see her. But of course, me hustling, bustling on the metro, 2, 3 buses at a time, and a train, just to get to work. Never made it to the hospital until one day, she called me and she was like, come over to the house.
Mm.
And I, came over. No, I did make it to the hospital. I'm sorry. Let's go back to the I did make it to the hospital. But now I'm in the hospital, and me not catching on to what's actually going on. She's in the hospital and she has like this breathing. I'm like, what's happening? It's like, yeah, I got this. I don't know what I caught. I got the pneumonia. I'm not breathing right. I'm sick. And I'm like, well, when do you get home? And she was like, I'll go home in a couple of days. I was like, okay, I'll come over and see you. Finally, when I come over to see her, she drops the bomb on me to tell me that she caught HIV
Mm.
from the one night stand.
Damn.
And it quickly blew into the autoimmune deficiency
Mm.
syndrome. So I watched her go from heavyset girl like me to very thin young lady. And in her last couple of days, she shared with me, she was like, Shell, please take care of yourself, when you're out here doing stuff. She's like, don't do anything unprotected. She's like, I wouldn't do that ever again. I wouldn't even have unprotected sex with my husband.
Mm.
So she left that deep impact on me. And of course, when she passed away, it was just like I felt survivor's remorse because I mean we were so close. You know, I said please don't do it. She did it anyway. And for the rest of my life, I still count. She would be this many years old, or we would have been doing this, or we would have been doing that together. And even now, you know, I can still count on my hand. Like I still got some fingers that I can count with how many sexual partners I've had in life, and fortunately, it's really been my kids, it's my ex-husband, and I had his kids, and then a few after when things ain't work out. But it shaped me. It shaped me. And I still kind of do grieve that loss, because it's like back in the 90s we were young still, you know. She didn't even make it to the 30s, her 30s,
Mm.
you know. And it's one decision, one bad decision, you know what I'm saying? For with someone who you say you trust. When you have that trust factor with, when you lay down with someone, you trust that person. You try to, you
The
should.
level of vulnerability.
Yes,
Yeah,
that,
that's hard. They're not trusting.
that,
They are being vulnerable.
yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
the survivor's remorse can be
Get
heavy at times.
get your daughter, bruh.
What she say? You ain't had no.
You ain't have no sex.
Exactly.
Oh,
That part. That part.
she
That
said,
part.
I'm a immaculate conception.
That part. Yeah, man. So
These
like
kids
even
still
now.
be thinking their parents they ain't never had sex. What is wrong with these? That's
Yeah, so even with celibacy now, like I've been on my celibacy journey, but I get those urges where I want to be intimate, you know what I'm saying? I want to snuggle, I want to cuddle, and I sometimes I really wish I could be that person that could have a little recklessness, but nah, I can't. You know what I'm saying? It's like as soon as I think I want to be reckless, that thought
I
comes
mean, but
back.
that's cautious recklessness. You know what I'm saying?
and I don't know. I push up against the word reckless because there would be no humans if there were no sex.
I agree.
And
I
so
agree.
that just is that's how we're made.
Mm.
Literally. It's how we're
Mm,
wired. So I mean, disease is as sad and as devastating, right? Disease is as old as the earth,
Earth. Hmm.
mm-hmm.
right? Um, and so we Leo said we have to be cautious. We have to be mindful.
Yeah.
And I think deeper than that, um, we need to respect one another
Mm-hmm.
and, honor the other person. And so if we are doing that, then we're going to take care of one another.
Mm-hmm.
All should strive to do that as best we can. And that's all we could do, just like COVID. Like if we were all trying to do that as best we can, we wear our masks, we wash our hands, we social distanced.
Yeah.
Now when we have, we're mindful of like flu-like symptoms in a different way, right?
Indeed. Yeah.
A layer of awareness, and I think that we have to take that same approach with our sex lives. I mean, that's anything. We could literally get in our car and have a devastating accident.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's not. So please hear me, Shell. That's not me minimizing because it is,
Right. No, I got you.
and that's why you were saying that shaped me.
Mm-hmm.
Devastating.
Yeah.
Like that's colored the way I view everything now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, it definitely shaped me. Like, you know, if I lay it down with anybody, consider yourself, a little bit up on a plateau because I'm like, yo, I can't. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? They were like, I met the dude in the club and we hit it in the bathroom.
Oh, nah, see, I've never been that reckless. Like, I've
I like
never been
what?
able to do that. And I'd be like, damn, y'all just be getting it in the bathroom at the club. Like, I've never been able to
Exactly.
do that shit. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, like people be like, even when they experience like a separation, or they a breakup, right? You've been going with somebody, or you've been dating somebody for a couple of years, and you go through this devastating breakup, and they say, well, I'm on demon time right now. I can't demon time. Like, oh, I'm scared. I
Listen.
can't demon
And then the
time.
other part of that is like having these bonds and connections in that way with people, and then you recognize or realize how like jacked up they truly are. And so then like you're looking at this this mess over here is going to play out in my life some way somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Like that mess over there, and we've been intimate, and that mess it's gonna leave a mark over here.
Yeah.
That's like when you make spaghetti sauce in the pot and it gets too hot and that shit just get the popping everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like that shit is going to get on you some way,
It's gonna get
somehow.
on you.
And even when you don't think it's on you, like you see it after you take the clothes off and be like, damn, I got spaghetti sauce way back here on the
Exactly.
back of my motherfucking shirt.
Yep.
Because like we don't recognize that like the recklessness of other people's lives and relationships and things does play a part in how we move forward in ours. And
Yeah.
so I definitely get it.
Yeah.
And I also understand like um a lot of us don't recognize like our traumas and things that we've dealt with that make us become the people that we are sexually.
Mm-hmm.
So um like people who've dealt with a bunch of trauma, like if you dealt with a bunch of trauma, then and that's all you've ever dealt with, like that's how you're gonna attach or that's how you're gonna respond. You may either be overly sexual or you're not sexual at all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so it'd be
Right.
like, damn, like you said, like the situation with your cousin molded you and shaped you into this person.
Yeah.
Like
That's traumatic.
the 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 things that we see, understand, they become a part of like our Rolodex in our brain, and our brain
Yep.
can't do shit outside of that until we make a conscious decision to be like, okay, I'm going to unlearn that behavior.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to unlearn that response to this thing
Right.
or to that thing. And it really, really takes a lot to unlearn something.
It does. It does. It does.
Repetitiveness.
Right.
A lot of times, what we do, you have to practice that because
Yeah.
it's rewiring your nervous system. And
Yeah.
so,
That part.
in practice, you try, and sometimes you don't hit the mark.
Mm-hmm.
But just like grief, we don't make space for failure.
Right.
And you
Ooh,
cannot be successful.
Ooh, oh boy.
You
Now you done
cannot be
said some
successful
words.
if you do not fail. And that is what's terrifying. So instead of doing that thing, we isolate.
Right.
So we don't ever actually heal.
No,
We just
that's
we're
right.
not being triggered. We're not being tested and tried.
That's right.
and a lot of us think our isolation is because we don't like people. No, it's because you don't like how you respond to certain things that
There
people
you go.
do.
There you go.
Yes.
And therefore you think you're isolating because, oh, I just don't like being around people. I just don't like this. I just don't like that. No, you're isolating because you're traumatized.
Right.
You're
Mm-hmm. That could be
isolating
true.
because you dealt with so many different things or so many different personalities or different people
Shut
who
down.
have abused you in some way. Now,
Mm-hmm.
abuse doesn't necessarily mean like physical, but they taken advantage of you or something has happened that makes you just like, you know what?
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna even talk about myself. Like, I recognized that a lot of times I just want to come home and I just want to be at home because for like 2 years I lived with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And then like a little over a year I lived with a former friend and her kids and I had two people. all the
Oh,
fucking time. Like,
Right.
and I was like,
I can't.
But that's the
my
thing.
fucking meter was so low and
Yes,
depleted on
that
top
part.
of
Right.
on top of coming back to Indianapolis after being carjacked at gunpoint.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And like trying to deal with that and trying to deal with, just a bunch of other failures.
Mm.
And I didn't like it was just like I
Yeah.
can't even be depressed in peace.
Oh,
And
Hello.
that sounds
Yes,
crazy as
yeah.
hell.
No, no, I feel
But
that.
it's like, damn, I can't even be depressed in peace. Like
I
I can't
feel
even be
that.
depressed.
Yes.
I can't even feel bad or I can't even stay asleep because I want to stay asleep
Mm-hmm.
because
folks is
you
banging,
rude.
kids is banging on the pots.
Oh, and that's what I was just about to say because you in there slamming cabinet doors and banging pots.
Boy,
Hey, I
boy, I
feel
tell
that
you what.
completely.
You
I
know,
feel
it,
that.
Brene Brown talks about, she says something like, you know, people are criticizing when they're not even in the arena. Um, and so that just made me think about, kind of what you were saying, Shell. And I am not, it's not that um how it shaped you is bad or wrong. I think that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do. We're supposed, that's wisdom, right? We take
Mm-hmm.
our experiences and then use the information to shape us. And so you had that experience, and so that's how your nervous system is wired. But
Yeah.
those of us that need to um, figure that stuff out,
Mm-hmm.
we like I was saying, we can't do it when we're on the sidelines. And so I I don't know. I think about life being, when I was saying earlier that I just want to run away.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just go play. But then, like,
Yeah.
you get tired of that though. And this may be just my personality style, but like,
Mm.
I'm going to get tired of that. I'm going to know, like, I know that there's a deeper meaning in it all. And like, there's something in me that's got to find that eventually.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I
for
might
sure.
give myself some rest. Like Tish was saying, like, I've been people in and I need
Ooh,
rest. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give myself some respite. But at some point, I've got to jump back in the arena and figure this stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
What is
Yeah.
going on with me? Like, and
Yeah.
I can only do that by practicing and failing.
Mm-hmm.
And that is terrifying.
as fuck.
Oh my
That part.
God. It's
That part.
so fucking scary.
Yeah. That part. Yeah, because like, Leo and I had a conversation like probably last week. And I
Mhm.
was like, I just need to get the stick out the mud and be able to go forward. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? It's like, ooh, I could be sitting there and I could be doing something, and all of a sudden it's like, I feel like this heavy, it's like a heavy jacket on top of you. You know what I'm saying? Like a heavy metal jacket, like it's holding you in.
Mhm.
And it's like, I need to be able to go forward and do some stuff,
Like the
you know?
depression kitty. Like you might not even watch Big Mouth, but that's what depression was on Big
Mm,
Mouth. It was a
mm-hmm.
big fat ass purple cat,
Mhm.
and the cat would go and lay on one of the kids. I forgot which kid it was, but that was what it would like. Like, okay, no, I want to get up, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
the cat is literally just
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Yes.
the
Awful.
cat then laid on top. You know how a fucking cat just,
Just let, yep, yep, yep.
and that's how it did, and that's
Yeah.
how I definitely understand.
That's why.
Yeah. I'm the type of person that I like to control my environment.
Yeah.
You
You
know what
like
I'm
to
saying?
control
Like,
everything,
I
Auntie.
know I do. I like to control my environment because,
Makes you
and
feel
my
so.
daughter says this all the time. She's like, "You have an anxiety problem," and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Maybe I do, right? Because even if I go to a restaurant, I'm looking at everybody. I'm looking at what they doing. I'm watching the door. I'm looking at that person in the corner because they look like they arguing, and are they going to get up any second and flip that whole table over? Like my brain is always doing something.
Yeah.
And so, but when I'm home in my environment,
Yeah.
Um, I'm in my homeostasis moment. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I'm like back to here, you know. But I can't stay here. I gotta go out there. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Because I want other stuff. Like I want a companion. I want somebody that I can always turn to, somebody I can walk through life with. You know what I'm saying? So they not coming to the door,
They were.
although I thought somebody came to the door for me.
Let me
Because
find out the Amazon man was fine.
But
girl,
And you
it
got the
wasn't the
flirt.
Amazon man. He was gonna fix the roof, but we already got somebody to fix the roof. I thought it was my Instacart person. So I went to the door because they knocked. And I opened the door because I opened the door. I was gonna say, "Hey, like, thank you so much," but like, he was beautiful.
Yeah.
Was
Girl, don't it be good when you see
right.
a beautiful man? That should be like, God
that man
damn.
was beautiful.
Woo! I had that moment on my way home from Savannah, y'all. The little
Goodness.
TSA agent. Oh,
Hmm.
I was in the line praying. I said, Lord, let me please just let him be the one that I end up walking past. And I was beautiful. I had to tell him. He
Yes.
said, you are so beautiful.
Mm.
I said, you are too. And he said, where you from? Where you about to go? I said, I'm going home. I don't live here. But like,
It
it's
was a man in
it's
Sam's Club. I was in Sam's Club in the cafe line.
mm.
Mm.
And I'm standing there minding my business, waiting.
Don't you just
And
be minding your business?
girl, listen, I
Always
love when I
minding
be
your
minding my business
business.
because they be paying attention because you be minding your business.
Mm-hmm.
And so he turned around and looked at me, and then he turned back around, and then he turned around and looked at me again.
Mm.
And then he was like, I don't know what this man was. He had an accent. He was tall, black, older. He had gray hair and a gray beard, and his eyes were like greenish gray. He
Ooh.
was like he was like Jesus black, like
Yes.
like he was black. And everybody that motherfucking know me know I love me a black ass man.
Black at it, black.
And I'll be like, oh God, yes, melt on me. Put
Mm.
all of that oil on me. Like, and he was tall. He was slimmer, but he was tall. And so I had to look up to talk to him. And I was like, And he turned around and he was like, I absolutely love your haircut. He was like,
Oh.
it is so refreshing to see a woman wear her own hair.
Mm.
And he was like, because you see all of these wigs and weaves and this, that, and the third or
That
whatever.
part.
And I was like, oh, thank you. And I'm looking up and I'm like, God damn. In my mind, my heart is like, and I'm like,
Oh.
damn, this man fat. He older. He looked like he had to be like 60 something. But he was older and he just had this accent. And I was like, keep talking to me. And
Mhm.
so
Hmm.
then,
What else you want to say?
right, because I was like,
I'm
I'd
listening.
have been like, "Can you say the alphabet for me?"
and we just got to talking. And then he got his stuff, I got my stuff, and I went on about my way.
Mm.
But the funny thing about that is black people be ear hustling
Or that part.
because it was a dude behind me, right? So he hit a whole conversation and we going about our way. The next day, I'm going in Family Dollar. He like, you following me? And I'm like, what you mean am I following you? He was
Right.
like, yeah, you was at Family Dollar yesterday and that old man was trying to get your number. He's
Oh
trying to
my
talk you
God,
out of your drawers. I was like, what?
sir. Mind your
He was like,
business.
yeah, time out some. You are so beautiful with this haircut. I said, damn. I
You had to
said,
get to
niggas
the
be really ear hustling and
They
being
do.
nosy. That shit
They
tickled the
do.
fuck out of me. He was like, yeah, that old ass man was up in there talking that shit to you. You almost gave it up. I was like, bruh.
moment.
I was
You
like,
know,
and
my life.
did.
You know, my
And did. I
It's
was
like,
like,
get out my
bruh, not you
business,
was.
Stanley.
He was all in the business
life.
because he was standing like, when I say right behind me, people in Indianapolis don't have no personal space boundaries.
They
So when
No,
I say he
I
was
that's the
right
can't.
behind
thing.
me,
That's the
he,
thing.
I
he was
cannot do
literally
that.
like right behind me. And so me and like I said, me and the man was just talking, but that shit was so funny. And that man was so fine. Like,
Mm.
oh. And I was like, Lord. And I went in Sam's Club a couple times after that, was like, let me see this fine ass old man. and I'm finna get him my number.
Mm.
We finna
Yep.
have an old ass baby. Like,
A old ass baby. That ain't funny though. Them old ass babies. I can't say what I want to say. Never mind.
well, we finna have an old ass baby. Shit, that man was fine. But I love me a chocolate man. They make my heart happy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Especially a
For
man like
sure.
darker than me.
Hmm.
Oh,
That TSA agent was good and short.
Man, we all got our preferences though, man. Mine is a tall man.
I
Mm.
just like them black. Like I love a chocolate man. My sisters used to. My sisters used to talk about me because I used like I didn't care if you was ugly or not. Like
Mm.
if you had some beautiful fucking black skin, you
Mm,
had a chance.
really?
Like you had a chance, nigga. Your skin is beautiful to me. There's
Hmm.
something about that. And they used to talk about me so bad, like, girl.
So you was bugging out in the Wesley Snipes era, huh?
Yeah, like Wesley Snipes ain't fine to me. But I love me a black ass man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Kofi from
But you know what though, Tia?
Queen Sugar.
You know,
Yes,
they
but
can
he
clean
is
up
handsome though.
well. Kofi from Cream Sugar, now listen. But they clean up well. Even if they ain't like the finest thing smoking.
It
Baby,
be when they put that shit
a
on.
haircut, okay? Don't let them throw on a suit.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, come on. And smell good too. Please.
Man,
Yeah.
let me slap my drawers in your pocket. Okay? Cause sir,
Not the pocket, though.
in the right here, in the
the,
lapel.
No, I was
the
going to
handkerchief
be a pocket
pocket.
square.
Make it a handkerchief, baby.
There you
'Cause,
go.
sir, yes. Oh
Don't like
yeah.
to sweat.
That's funny.
Listen. I love it. But it like all of that shit, like we don't even realize like all of the things that
Yeah.
play a part in how we become who we are and how even like the grief plays a part in that. All of the other
Yeah.
stuff like be making us like be a certain way. And it's like, yeah, damn. And
Mm-hmm.
okay, Alexa, come on, it's time for bed. Man,
She's like, hey, wrap that up. Hey, wrap
wrap
this.
that shit up, B. Wrap it up. um, but it's like all of those things, and when you start unpacking all of that shit, it'd be like, oh,
It's heavy.
how much more is coming out this motherfucking suitcase?
It's heavy, man.
It's
Look,
heavy.
ugh,
It is
because
heavy.
I don't want to do it.
It's a lot. It is heavy. And for all of those, like for the people that's watching or tuning in or listening, like the fact that there is joy on the other side, there is happiness on the other side. Like just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That
that's
should be
that's a
raggedy.
word.
That should be so raggedy. But there is a lesson in that shit that you're in. Like it's something you're supposed to learn while you're
Yeah.
in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like while you're there, there's something for you to pay attention to within yourself, within your world, within your environment. It's a lot of lessons that are going to come out of that funky, fucked up, rough ass
Yeah.
space
For
that you're in.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure. For
And
sure.
so like I tell a lot of people, and I don't even know who I was talking to, but like give yourself grace, be kind to yourself, be good to yourself, and then also recognize that you have to not just be good to yourself and be kind to yourself. You got to give yourself the love that ain't nobody else gonna give you when you in that space.
Mm,
Right.
that's good.
You got to be like, all right, cool. I don't know what this is. And I don't really know what I'm going through, but I'm finna love on me. I'm finna change up a little bit. Like I've started in my mornings. This is how I start my mornings to make sure my days go better. I start my music with I start my days with music, and more than
Mm-hmm.
likely it's jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Cause it's something about the music, something about the way jazz just mellows you out. Like it helps you
Yeah.
to focus. And I
Yeah.
take my showers in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Like I take them in the morning now because it helps me to release like all of it. I
Mm,
take them at night too, but in the morning there is something about a morning shower
mm,
Yeah.
that's real.
that
Feels refreshed.
helps
Yeah, it
me to
does. It refreshes
reset.
you.
Mm,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it
It
helps me to
refreshes you.
reset and
Yeah.
it does something different. So that's how I start my day. Even when I don't meditate, the fact that I listen to that music, it definitely does something for my day. And like we gotta start paying attention to ourselves enough
mhm,
to know like we're not ourselves. And everybody ain't gonna self-regulate, and I know that now. But that's one thing we have to learn to do. And once you do start to self-regulate, it'll be a lot easier for you to do it. And
mm,
it'll be a lot easier for you not to lose yourself in the thickness of the
Mm.
thick.
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
just bringing mindfulness. Like I think listening to the jazz and taking your morning shower, it requires you to bring mindfulness to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jumping up
Yeah.
out of bed, throwing some water on your face, brushing your teeth. You know what I mean? Just having that really quick routine. It's something about slowing down and taking our time through a thing, that allows us to integrate into the process and really be present.
Right.
That's
Yep.
beautiful, Leo.
Thank you. Like my mentor, our favorite person, is like she was the person that made me recognize like I have the power to control my day. Like
Yeah.
we always say that shit. We always say it. We always talk about it. But she was the person that made me really like apply it
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and
Got
be
away.
intentional about it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
well, what time do you gotta be at work? And because I used to like my last job, I used to be like, Lord, I gotta get up and go to work. I gotta drive and I gotta sit there and do nothing. And, it used to be dreadful in the morning to go to work. And so I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay. So then she was like, okay, well, don't think of work as work. Think of work as a thing to do on your list of things to do for the day. Oh,
Mm.
okay. I could try that.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, well, what time do you get up? What time you got to be there? What time you leave the house? And I was like, well, I do this, and this. She said, well, you can get up, play your music because, you love music. Play your music while you make your breakfast or while you take your shower or while you sitting there doing nothing. Even if you want to sit there for a little while and do nothing before you start your day, have your music going so that you can do that. And I'm like, okay, I can do that too. And so I just started implementing some of those things, and it was just like, have your music playing and have you a cup of tea or coffee or
Yeah.
make your breakfast. However, whatever it is that you decide to do, is just do it, but also don't make the day about um
Work.
What you're grieving about.
yeah, about grief
Yeah.
or work. Don't make it about those things. Make it about you and your day and your routine and
Make
even
it
at
about
night.
you.
Like
Say that again.
even at
Go.
night.
Make it about you.
Even
Right.
at night, make your
Yeah.
night about you.
That's really good. I like
And so when I come home, like
it.
sometimes I'll be like, damn, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I need to clean up, I need to do that. If I don't feel like doing it, I'm not gonna do it. I
There.
come home and if I always have to decompress after work because I people all day now.
Yeah.
So I come home, I get out of my clothes, I lay across my bed and I watch cartoons for like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wiggle my toes and those kind of things. But it's just cause that's what helps me to come down off of the day, off of people. And I try not to talk to nobody within that hour that I'm home. I try. Cause I
Right.
really be needing that time to like, no, I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to deal with nobody. I
Yeah.
mean, but even if I do talk to people, I try to make it a good conversation or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Something fulfilling. And that's how I choose to like start. I mean, even in therapy, I told my therapist, I don't want to not be in the midst of people or things anymore that make my life hard or that don't come with reciprocity, or if I always got to be the one doing the work, I don't want to do it no more.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it no
Shout
more.
out to the people that are staying in with us. I know we over. We
Yeah, we
normally.
later than usual. We
Yeah, yeah,
started a
yeah,
little late.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to the ones that's hanging out.
Yeah. We gotta wrap it up in a second. Um, but yeah, I'm sorry I kind of went on a rant there, but that's just kind of
I get it. I get it. I get it. No, but that's very good. Those were very good points.
yeah, that's kind of
Um.
like that's what she told me, and I was like, I just kind of implemented. Sorry for the rant, y'all. And my
Mhm.
brain is like, I'm slowly getting sleepy. Like
Yeah,
I'm
you get.
slowly.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's definitely past our time, but
Listen, Alexa just told me it's time
yeah,
to go to
she
bed. It's
she
time
told
for
you to
bed.
wrap it up.
Aggressive.
But I mean, definitely one of the things that I do to try to cope is I do lean on the Bible a lot. Um, that has been, and when you really do get into, if anybody is an avid Bible reader, when you really do get into it, you do feel like you're having a conversation, with a higher power, higher source. So that is a good outlet, a positive outlet, um,
Hmm.
to rely on. But then, like you said, self care. I think Auntie Joy mentioned, self care and stuff like that. I mean, just try to keep that type of thing up. And just your best isn't going to look the same every day.
Hmm.
You're not going to show up being your best. But if you got out of bed and brushed your teeth today,
Come
you
on
know
now.
what I'm saying? That might be the best you could do that day.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
That shit is real, y'all. So
It definitely is.
thank y'all for tuning in with the aunties. We gonna finish this conversation. Yeah, I mean, we might be back next week if the aunties feel like talking next week. But if not, we'll be back on the 24th.
Hmm.
And on the 24th, we are going to talk about sexual anxiety
Mm.
Oh,
because that is a real thing.
Yes.
it
And
is.
a lot of people do not have the conversation about sexual anxiety, and
Mm-hmm.
also how the things that we've been through as far as grief triggers some forms of sexual anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know y'all like this some deep shit.
I know.
It is.
I
Yeah.
was definitely not expecting to go that deep today, but I mean,
It is.
if it's
And
gonna
so,
help one person, then I've helped one person today.
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And that's the
Yeah.
point of the conversations is for us to just talk about it and really reveal a lot of things that us as Black people don't normally talk about,
Hmm.
because these conversations are necessary for us to become our best and better selves. And how
Yeah.
can you be your best when you don't even tap into the things that made you your worst?
That part,
Absolutely.
the shadow work. It's the shadow work. We try to cut out those darker, those shadowy places and not deal with
Hmm.
those ourselves. All of that makes up who we are. That's not.
Hmm.
It's not a bad thing. We just have to seek to understand it and then offer it some compassion.
Yeah.
Right.
Some of those parts have protected us in order for us to be here. Like that's
Yeah.
what sometimes what coping mechanisms are. They keep us going.
Yep.
Yeah.
They keep you safe too.
Yes, honor
Safe
Absolutely.
from yourself. Yep.
your whole self.
And I'm ready to let some of those things go so I
Absolutely.
can be my favorite self.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes, Lord.
Hmm.
So I hope this conversation helped somebody. I hope that it did what it was supposed to do. I hope it gave you some understanding of yourself, some of the things you've been through, whether it's trauma, drama, or whatever. If it's lost, I hope that it has given you a space to start looking inward more and really figuring out who you are, who you're becoming, and who you were. so
Mm-hmm.
that you can become your favorite self. And I say favorite self because we can become our best self
Yeah.
and that still not be our favorite self.
Yeah.
So becoming your favorite self. And so we hope this conversation was what you needed it to be for you, because it was exactly what I needed it to be for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so we will be back to have another conversation on Tuesday. And then on the 24th, we will be back as well to talk a little bit more. So we thank y'all for tuning in. We thank y'all for learning the things, talking about all the things, and even the sidetracks and the rants. Okay. Thank y'all for understanding
Indeed.
the sidetracks and the rants. Okay.
Indeed.
They happen on both shows. So it's always going to happen no matter what.
Absolutely.
Uh, so we thank y'all.
I want to say for all of the mothers that are watching, Happy Mother's Day this
Happy
Sunday.
Mother's Day,
Happy Mother's Day.
beautiful.
Yes.
Happy Mother's Day. And yeah, before we go, I got a word. Life never went easy on her, and she didn't go easy on herself either. She is strong, and you can see it in her eyes. You can sense it in her voice. She believes that her body can physically rebuild and heal itself. I think that's because she knew how to recover by herself after life had broken her. She knows how it's like to be underappreciated. So if you can't see the beauty in her quirks, if you don't think that maybe she might be a little piece of magic, don't you dare and say that she is just a girl, because she's a masterpiece. And on
Mm.
that note, we about this
Period.
thing. I love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And y'all know what I say. Whatever you do for the rest of the evening and the rest of the week, don't do it with your half ass. Do it with your whole ass, y'all. We up out this thing. Love y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Trust, dependency, love, respect, passion, pain, intimacy, pleasure. I sit here stuck inside my head, remembering you and I analyze all those things you said.